Michael.
Hello, and welcome to English Stay Philippines. My name is James,
My name is Teacher Ricky.
and we do have a few small British English and American English words and explanations here which we'd like to explain today. Over to you, Ricky.
Okay, yes, we have 6 points that we're going to explain. First one is irresponsible. We're going to show that being used in a sentence. And booze is slang. We're going to define what the difference between a recognized word from the dictionary is and what a slang word is. And how would you feel? We're going to explain that one. And hey is going to be used with a specific type of intonation, and then we are going to explain the difference of rising and falling intonation. And fancy is, that's more of his explanation, because there's a small difference between American English and British English, which we'll discuss later on. And this is an idiom. Car runs on alcohol, and we're going to explain some idioms and have a few other examples of idioms.
Okay, so lots to go through today. We'll do this nice and slowly so everyone can understand. So I'll do the first one, and we're going to jump the gun, and we're going to go to number 2. Booze. Booze is slang. It's slang you can use. Booze means alcohol. Booze means beer. Booze means liquor. Booze you can buy in your gasoline station, or in England, a petrol station. What about another one, Ricky?
How would you feel? It's like, how would you feel is supposed to be followed by another statement. How would you feel if someone broke into your house and stole some of your belongings? How do you feel is not a sentence that I normally would say is to be used by itself. It comes with another statement shortly after it. That's why followed by an explanation. For an example. Back to you, James.
I'll stay with that. So, how would you feel if I stole your car?
I would feel awful.
A simple explanation there for you. Okay, going back into British, I'm going to go to number 5 now. The word fancy. Many different variations, but basically it means like. So I've wrote here, I fancy you. I like you. Same meaning. I fancy a drink. I like a drink. Or would you like a drink? Would you fancy a drink? It's just a different meaning of the word like. And finally on this one, do you fancy me? Yes, I know, I'm very handsome, but sorry, I'm already taken. Okay?
This is an idiom. An idiom is like a sentence that you do not interpret exactly how they say it. It's kind of like a poetic expression. Like, the car runs on alcohol. When you think of something running, that's like a human being. They're running. The cars don't run. But it still means something, like it means with momentum or movement, that the car moves because of alcohol or gasoline. Or if somebody is highly intoxicated, there's 2 sheets to the wind. You're thinking, how can a person be 2 sheets? That's just an example. If you think of 2 sheets hanging and the wind blowing, that goes like this, so a person would be highly intoxicated. Or beer goggles, which means someone has consumed too much alcohol, and so they're wearing beer goggles. There are many idioms that we use when we speak English, so they're just not to confuse anybody. There's not a literal meaning, it's a different meaning.
Okay, let's go up to number 1 now. Irresponsible. A negative word, basically. For example, I am a responsible person. I get to work on time, I eat on time, I go home on time. If I was an irresponsible person, I would be late. I wouldn't care. I would drink too much. I would wear beer goggles every night. That is an irresponsible person. But of course everyone here is a responsible person. And I think the last one is over to you.
Intonation. Intonation is like the music melody. It's a rhythm that people, when you get to speak really good English, there's a flow, like almost like a hip-hop song. Or if you watch the karaoke and they have the words and then there's a bouncing ball, it kind of goes along with an intonation or syllables. So we have certain words, like we use a rising intonation or a falling intonation, just like if it were stairs. And you use rising intonation and falling intonation. It depends on the sentence. If you have a yes or no question, you could say, "How are you today?" So it goes up a little bit because that's that would be a who, what, when, where, and why. But if you have, is it going to rain today?
No.
Okay, so it kind of goes down. You have the up and a small down, but not too much. And the other form of intonation of rising and falling, when he says "hey," you'll see in the video, it's like you're calling attention to a specific meaning. When you want somebody to pay attention to a certain thing, you use a different intonation because it's pointing out that a major fact or something important that you want your listeners to pay attention to something more. You'll use that type of intonation. So we have explained everything. So I think we're going to go to the video now.
Hello.
What part of Bring My Car Back in One Piece do you not understand?
So, what happened to the normal "how do you do"? Well, it was time he got a new car. The brakes failed.
So you're trying to tell me that the car drank Jack Daniels?
No way. Jim Beam?
When they say that the car runs on alcohol, it doesn't mean the driver. You're so irresponsible.
Irresponsible? The only way to drive your old, slow car is to drink booze. Hey, sorry man.
That is so wrong. You could have killed someone. How would you feel if you had to deal with that? I think your whole entire world would have changed.
I'm sorry, my friends. Hey, do you fancy a Pepsi?
Sure, make that your drink of choice and never do it again.
Do you want a slice of lemon and some ice with that?
I feel like I am 50 years old, and I have to teach you like you are a child. I hope you've learned your lesson. I will finish this conversation with this. You'll never drive my car again.